going back to, when you started, Dusty, who broke you into business and what made you say, because I go back to Houston wrestling, and I think it was you in the ring. I can almost swear it was you in the ring, and you were bleeding badly, and I fell in love with wrestling. But what hooked you as a kid and would put you on a path to the destiny that you would take as the American dream?
Let me tell you how this happened, and this is some honky stuff, man. Because we were just talking about it on the 45th my anniversary, and Michelle, my wife, of 35 years, we were talking about this, this moment. So I'm playing with the Hartford Charter Oaks in the Continental Football League, okay, and it's 1968, and I got cut from the Patriots. So I'm in the Continental Football League playing with Hartford with the Charter Oaks. The team folds, and I look in the newspaper. It says Boston Arena Annex. Friday Night Wrestling, Tony Santos Wrestling. So I go down there, okay? Now then, I had been around all the Funks and Bobby Duncan, my bud from Austin had started in the business, and they had all been there in in Amarillo,
yep,
every Thursday night, going to wrestling, watching them. I loved it. It was the most unbelievable form of entertainment and express yourself that I could find. And so I was half-ass smart. And we say, well, he's smart back then.
Yep.
If you wasn't smart, man, somebody gonna beat your ass. You know what I mean? And so they would say. So I said, okay, man. So I get there and I go in there and I'm standing. I buy a ticket. I got about $7 or $8 in my pocket. So I drive up to Boston Arena Annex, not Boston Garden.
Yeah.
So I go in there and there's a promoter there, and he looks at me and said, well, man, you big guy. You ever tell about wrestling? I said, yeah, I have, man. I've been down with the Funk. That's all I said. I didn't lie about it. I said, I've been down with the Funk in Amarillo. Yeah, so that's it. He said, man, you wanted to give this a try. I said, yeah, this is a true story, Steve. So he said, come in here on Monday. If you're around, come Monday. So I stayed there, and I lived in the car and outside of Boston because I didn't have enough money to stay anywhere. But I had box coat and gloves, so I had some little boxing shoes and a bathing suit. So I go down to the Boston Arena Annex, and there's a guy named Bill Graham, not the Billy Graham we know, a little short guy about 6 foot. He was a shooter, about 5'9" or something like that. He was what we call the shooter. So he said, I want you to go out there, and they had the little sliding door in this old arena like you've seen in the movie. And he slid the little thing back to where he could just peer, like I couldn't see this guy, right? And he appeared watching. I went to the ring. And so I was really strong back then, about, 210, 220, just come out of football.
Yeah.
I was in great shape, man. And this guy walks out there, with the beer gut, and I ain't got nothing against beer gut, believe me. So he walks out there and, he said, what do you know, kid? You know any hooks, and everything? I said, yeah, man, I know a lot of hooks, like that. So I didn't know shit from shit. All of I said, those are my hooks. Hook my ass, hook this, my hook. So I said, so he grabbed a hold of me and he tried to take me down, but he wasn't that strong, you know what I mean? So he couldn't take me down, and I didn't know nothing about amateur wrestling, absolutely dog nothing. And he couldn't take me down. He struggled like for about 10 minutes. Said, okay, you'll do.
Oh.
And that's the way I broke into business.
Yeah.
And then the next week, I wrestled Lenny Montana in the Boston Arena Annex in the main event, and then a guy named Frank Scarpa, who was the world's champion, and then that little group. And I wrestled for the world's title, my first match in the business.
You gotta be kidding me, Jesus!
No,
Christ.
in the first match, and I had never been in the ring at all.
Well, how the hell did you get a world title shot?
Because they wrote in the paper. They didn't even call me Dusty. They called me Sandy. Yeah. Sandy Reynolds from the Boston Patriots. Hell, I've been cut by the Patriots.
Yeah.
Nick Bonacani was there back then. That's how far back that was. They were, and so they were the Boston Patriots, and I was at Hartford, and a big football star challenges Frank Scarpa for the world title in the Boston Arena Annex. Jesus, I mean, and Bull Curry comes into me, and Bull Curry's there, and it's during the holidays, obviously, Thanksgiving was coming up, and he says, he comes in and works with this guy, every Thanksgiving, and, he said, kid, there's 2 things you need, man, like a carpenter, man. You need a outfit, and you need to have a bunch of pictures. And I said, okay, sir, that sounds good. I was always respectful. And I met Rufus R. Jones there. He was Crazy Duke Graham was his name. Rufus R. Jones, man. We put our money together and had Thanksgiving dinner on the soup line in a kitchen in Boston, Massachusetts. So that's the whole story, and that is the true story, Stephen.